Hi guys, today we are going to practice some challenging circles problems. The biggest thing about these is going to be reading carefully and thinking about what is happening. Let's do the first one. A pond is shaped like a circle. I heard a shape described. The very first thing I should do is draw it. That's an ugly circle, but it doesn't matter. The diameter of the pond is 100 yards. I know that diameter means all the way across my circle. So I'm going to label that. Mary ran along the edge of the pond to the opposite side. Chuck swam straight across the pond to the opposite side. Which statement best compares the distances Mary and Chuck moved? Well, I know this word compare means that I'm going to look at two different things. I need to figure out Mary's distance and Chuck's distance. Chuck is really easy because it says he swam straight across the pond to the opposite side. And I know that straight across the pond is 100 yards. So I know Chuck equals 100 yards. But now I need to figure out Mary. In the problem, it says that Mary ran along the edge of the pond to the opposite side. So what I can assume here is that Mary started here and she ran all the way around the edge until she got the opposite, which means directly across from where she started. I just went halfway around my circle. The outside outline of a circle, or the distance around the circle, is called the circumference. So I need to figure out how far it would be to run all the way around the circle. The formula for circumference is C equals pi times the diameter. So I'm going to plug in what I know. I don't know the circumference. That's what I'm trying to find. I know pi is always 3.14, or round it to 3 if you don't have a calculator, times my diameter in this case, all the way across my circle, was 100. So that means all the way around my circle is 3.14 times 100, which is 314. So the circumference, or all the way around, is 314 yards. But Mary didn't run all the way around. She only ran halfway around. So I want half of my circumference. To figure out half, I can go ahead and divide it by 2. And 314 divided by 2 equals 157. So Mary ran 157 yards. Now let's look at my answer choices. Mary ran about the same distance as Chuck swam. No, she ran way farther, so I know that this one is not a good answer. Remember, I'm going to cross off on the end because during the park, I can't cross off on my letters. Mary ran about 1.5 times the distance Chuck swam. 1.5 times the distance Chuck swam. That means take Chuck's distance, 100, and multiply it by 1.5. 100 times 1.5 is 150. That's pretty close, but let's check the next one. Mary ran about 3 times the distance Chuck swam. So I'll do 100, which is the distance Chuck swam, times 3 equals 300. Mary only ran 157, so I know that this is not a good answer. Mary ran about 6 times the distance. I know that doesn't make sense because if 3 times the distance was too much, then 6 times the distance is definitely too much, which means B is my best answer choice here. Let's do one more. Giant sequoia trees are the biggest trees on Earth. Sally visits a national park and sees a giant sequoia stump that's 32 feet across. The stump is circular in shape. I just heard a shape described and I don't see it. I'm going to draw it. They also just told me that it's 32 feet across, so I'm going to label that. I know all the way across is my diameter, 32 feet. Looks horrible, doesn't matter. It's not about pretty, it's about getting it right. The stump is circular in shape. If Sally wraps a string around the stump 5 times, how many feet of string will she need? She's going to wrap a string around the stump. That would be 1, 2, 3, etc. She's going to do that 5 times. Which formula do I need? Well, I know area is the space inside my circle. It didn't say she's going to fill in the circle, so it's not area. I already know my diameter. Circumference is the distance around, and it said she was going to wrap a string around, so I'm going to use my circumference formula. Circumference equals pi times diameter. So I know to find 1 time around, I could do 3.14 times my diameter, 32. And 3.14 times 32 is 99.84 feet. So if she wrapped the string around 1 time, it would be 99.84 feet. But she's not going to do it 1 time. She's going to do it 5 times. So I need to multiply my circumference by 5. 99.84 feet times 5 times around gives me 499.2 feet of string needed. Your turn to practice.